Hey peeps, I thought it best to I saw all your comments. I thought they were really awesome. I love the engagement that we're all having on the subject of track, as we're not getting much of it this year. At least our hearts are still beating in the right place. So what I want to do is give you guys my rundown of the things I look for in sprinting, the things I like to see athletes do, and having been trained at the top and had a number of coaches throughout my career. I've had 12 coaches, so I've had 12 different experiences, 12 different opportunities, 12 different philosophies. So with that, I have a lot of information in my head and a lot of different ways that coaches coach. And coaches coach based on their skill set and what they've learned, but also they learn from the individuals that they coach and they teach and they mentor. So each individual is different. So with that, I especially like Shaunae Miller-Uibo. Good height. And with that, I notice athletes of a certain height run in a particular way. And why I wanted to draw attention to Shaunae Miller-Uibo and Usain is that they have a very similar running style. A lot of the shorter athletes, not that skippers is short, and forgive me, I should know her name, it'll come to me. Not that she's short too, so, but they all try to run in the same particular way. So with that, I look for things when they're on the bend. If you notice, none of them bend their bodies to the contours of the lane. They all remain upright. You can see very upright motion. Athletes of old would tilt into the bend, but I find with a huge tilting, it closes down the height of the left leg. So by staying upright, it enables the right and the left side to maintain good height, the angle that you're looking for. And you have to pay more attention to the left to keep it high than you do the right, because that's the side that's going to be less functional. Again, these are things I've learned through all the coaches that I've been around. Never made sense to me then because I was in it in the sense that I was competing. So examples of our athletes you never pay much attention to, but because you're really focused on yourself. And I'm not saying that's the philosophy for all athletes. However, that's how I thought at the time. I just wanted to know what I could do better. And even though my coach was showing me examples of what other athletes do, I wasn't interested. So having been on the flip side, now I'm coaching, I pay a little bit more attention to detail. All right, so again, good upright posture, good drive with the right leg down. And again, I notice how high the left side comes. And still maintaining form. Again, athletes tend to, of old, would have their arms crossing their body, not so much here. But although athletes of old would use their right arm across the body to counteract or counterbalance themselves, whereas the athletes of this generation, with science and know-how and mechanics, it serves the athlete better to stay upright and keep the arms on the outside of the body. And that is established from the start of the race, and you maintain it as best as you can. And as you can see, even around the bend, good body displacement, staying upright, and you'll notice all are pretty much doing a good job of that. So when you've got athletes that have good input on what's more economical, you notice they all adopt the same type of running style. And where we're trying to be a little bit more economical, you will see how it serves the athlete. All right, so that's that. So as that establishment of running form has been created, they hold that well into the home straight. What I like about this style of running, I refer to it as calf to hamstring. The athlete's ability to maintain good closure with the calf and the hamstring when it's coming through, or sometimes they call it the figure four. So I look for this. Many coaches do the same. I look for how well an athlete can hold this position. So in my group, I always show videos of like this where athletes have to understand how well they need to hold their posture. So I always refer to the body of a posture of the athlete in alphabetical terms. So I refer to this as a lowercase I. The body here, between shoulder to glute, is the lower part of the I, and the head is the dot. So when I challenge athletes to think like that, they can refer to it because they've all seen what the letter I looks like. So I talk in languages that athletes have a data bank of. They know what the alphabet looks like, they know what a capital I looks like, they know what a lowercase I looks like. So with that, when I refer to that, it teaches them to keep that lowercase I posture. So ear, shoulder, hip in one line, and also complemented by where the knee lands. And I found over time when athletes focus on their form and not focus on the win, they were able to make corrections as they run. And just like Miller-Uibo here in picture and Usain Bolt, they focus on their form. That's what we've been taught. We're taught to focus on our form. Keep making corrections. I always say to my athletes sometimes, not that they've ever driven a car, but for those that have, or people have been in a car, I ask them to think about if, obviously a car has 4 tyres, if one of the tyres went flat, so I'm saying the front left tyre, what angle would the car be directed in? So hopefully they would say it would drift to the left because the left tyre's gone down. So by having the ability to lift calf to hamstring on the left side and right side, you're running on 2-wheel drive. In a car you have 4, or you have a fancy BMW, you'll have 4-wheel drive. Then you get equal amounts of force production on the right, stamp down, and on the left. And again, at all times maintaining this posture, good arm swing, arms are swinging at equal distance at the front and at the back. And many would talk about how much she flags at the back. Again, she just got to work on her body mechanics and what works best for her. It doesn't work for all the others. But for her style, her height, her approach to running, this method suits her. So that's what I like watching Miller-Uibo. Again, things I look for, and you can tell she's concentrating because she's in total relaxation. Face is a good indicator of how relaxed an athlete is. If you can see the cheeks moving around, hair's flowing, eyes focus on what's going on internally. These are the things that people don't know. I can talk about it because I've been there, done it. I've been to multiple championships, won multiple medals, so I know what it's like to be at the top, and the things that we have to focus on that not everyone else down below us knows about. So this is a sign and the sight of somebody who's, forget about that, who's focusing on herself internally and not about the athletes that are on the left or to the right of her. Mr. Usain, same. Yes, loads of comments have come through. Yes, he was decelerating, he was doing various things. But I still look at how well he maintains his form, even in deceleration. I like what Usain does with crushing of the fingers, bringing the calf to hamstring, and how well he extends, gets out of flexion, and then goes straight into extension. I like that. That means he's always had the ability to maintain a good hip height. He never drops a stride, he never bends too much at the knee, and he's able to maintain that. And again, for those of you that don't know, I've competed against Usain 2 or 3 times in major championships. And I've also trained with him in 2006. So I know what is required. I know what he's done. I know the training methods. I know the styles. I know the mentality of him. So he focused on perfection. And you can see that here. All of these athletes have similar running styles. But again, he focused on what works for him and continues to do that step after step after step. Again, like Shaunae with Miller-Uibo, ear, deltoid, hip, knee, lowercase I. Figure 4, cross fingers as I call it. Good angle there. Holds that. And another thing I've noticed, athletes are afraid to focus on form because it actually feels slow. Running fast actually feels slow. Every time I've run my fastest times, run under 10 seconds 5 times. I've run 20.31, I've run 6:42. Which is probably the 5th or 6th fastest time in the world ever. And if you ask me how it felt, I would say it felt slow. Running fast actually feels slow. If you're one of those athletes that spin their legs like Wile E. Coyote and rushes their arms like freaking they're drowning, then you're not going anywhere. You're just spinning your legs and not covering much ground. This young man has the ability to spin his legs just as fast as anybody else and get his feet on and off the ground faster than anybody else. And he does that with the advantage of his height by covering the 100, well, in this sense, he's doing the 200, but the 141 strides. So your application to holding your form is key. If you're going in the race just to win, you're going to not have many chances of that. If you focus on your form, or running in the method that you've been taught as best as you can, then you stand more chance of success. So I'm going to rewind this because I like watching this race. So he's focusing on keeping this repetition of this movement over and over and over again.